in an ICU. So we'll do a standard format and then we'll give an example. Okay? So the first thing in the medication, you need to know the concentration. The concentration, there is two things. There is number and there is the measured one. So let's assume a medication A has a concentration of 800 mic per ml. So that's one. That's important to remember. There is number and there is the unit. Okay? And let's assume the order is, so the concentration and then the order. So let's assume the order is 2 mic per kg per minute. So first thing you can see that this match this. So no conversion. We don't need to convert. If it's not matched, before we calculate, we need to change here. We need to do conversion. So this matches this. Okay? So we have the concentration matching. So we'll start our calculation by, you can see there is a kg and there is minute. Okay? So we need the weight. Okay. So let's assume the weight is 1.5. Okay? So let's start. We have 2 mic. Now we do calculation. So we have 2 mic multiplied by 1.5.
is 3, doctor.
Is it 3 or 2? 2 mic.
Yes, 3 times
Yes,
1.
no, later.
Yes,
So
okay.
times the minute. So we have 24 hours. And we have 60.
60.
Okay? And what is our concentration per ml? Because we need the volume. So this will give us the dose. But if we need the volume, we have to divide by the concentration, which is 800. You get volume. So let's do that calculation. How much you get?
5.4.
So you get 5.4. No, it's too much.
1.8.
Do it again. I think it's high. 5.4. Okay. So we get bite 5.4. You sure? That would be too much. So multiply and say equal, multiply and say equal.
5.4.
Something wrong.
What is your weight?
1.5.
1.5.
So 2 times 1 is 3. 3 times 24. That's 38 times 60.
2 times.
So if we remove this and remove this, just multiply 6 times 24 and see.
Times 60. Yeah, really, you have 5.4.
Yeah, I think, anyhow, it is because I think it should be per kg with this concentration usually, and this is it. So let's assume it's 5.4. No. So as far as this, more than 0.1, you don't need first dilution. If this came to be less than 0.1, you need, now you need to run it over 24 hours. So that's 3, and now the run. So in the run, you need 2 things. Type of the fluid. Is it D10, D5? Is it normal saline, half saline? This depends on the glucose level of the baby, sugar level of the baby, and the sodium level of the baby. So this is the type. Then you need the volume. The volume depends on many things when we decide what is the volume. Depend on the urine output, depend on the TFI that we're getting, depend whether the baby is losing or gaining weight. So if the baby urine output is high, we can go high. If the baby is losing weight, we can go hypo. If the baby is idiomatous, we go with volume. If the sugar is low, So it depends on when we choose the volume. So let's say we choose a volume, let's say 0.1 mil per hour. So how much we get? 2.4, which will be less than. So this is impossible. So 0.1 mil per hour, we get 2.4 times 24. Everybody's texting. So concentrate with me. You calculating?
Yes, calculating.
Okay. So 2.1 times 24 will be 2.4.
So
less.
2.2.
So let's go 0.2. How much? 0.2 times 24?
0.48.
4.8.
0.48. Sorry, 4.8.
4, still less. So let's go by 3. 3 times 24?
7.2. 7.2.
So equals 7.2. Plus, so 7.2 minus 5.4?
1.8.
1.8. So you add 1.8, whatever the type of fluid you add it to this,
1.4.
dose from this, to get and run it on 0.3 milliamp. So this is the volume that you can get. So let's change this, okay, and see if it's per hour, and see the difference. If the dose per hour now, this is another example. So please multiply 2 mic per kg per hour, same dose, there is no conversion. How much you get? 0.09. So you get 0.9. Okay, so this is the mil
0.1.
volume.
0.09. 0.09.
4.0. So if you get 0.09, that will be impossible. So we need a first dilution before we do that. So we take 1 mil of this, we add it to 9 mil. So before we run, we do the first dilution, and then we do another calculation. So we'll take 1 mil of this, so 1 mil
Doctor.
plus 9, we get 10 mil. Okay, so we get 800 in 10 mil.
Yeah. So how much?
And we get 0, 0, so 1 mil are 80.
Yes.
And then we run the calculation again. 2 times 1.5 times 24 divided by
80.
80. Tell me the volume.
Mm, 0.9.
0.9. So that's easy to get. Okay,
Yes.
now we need to run. So this is an extra step because the volume less than 0.1. Okay, because it's impossible to get it now. So now we do the run. In the run, we have two things. We have type and we have volume. So what is the type? Depending on normal, if the baby hypotensive, we go on normal saline. If the sodium is low, we go normal saline. If the sodium is high, we go half saline. If the dextrose is low, we go like 5%. If we need more sugar, we'll go with D10. Okay, so the type depends on the compatibility. Is this medication compatible with this or not? This is, we get it from a list of different medications. So this is now the volume. So we need also to decide, are we giving high volume or low volume, depending on about total body fluid, if we have a volume, or we are volume restricted. What's urine output? Are we gaining weight or we are losing weight? So we decide the volume. Okay, so what is the volume that we can run? How much we are giving total parenteral nutrition, how much feeding, and how much we volume. So we can run any volume we want. So we can run from 0.1 mil an hour per hour, and then we need 2.4, right? But we have 0.9 here from this. So 2.4 minus 0.9, how much?
1.5.
So you get 1.5. Okay? So you add 0.9 to 1.5, 0.9 plus 1.5, 0.9 from this one. After calculation, and add it to 0.1, whatever fluid you decide, you get 2.4. And then you run it 0.1 ml per hour. Or if you wanted 0.2, so 0.2 times 24, you get 4.8. Okay, 4.8 minus 9.9,
3.9.
so 3.9. So instead of this, you get 3.9. And you run it 0.2 ml an hour. Is it clear how to calculate? So let's do exercise then. Who want to volunteer? Okay? We'll make it a little bit difficult. Okay? So the first example is the weight. We'll change it. You wanna?
Okay.
So the weight is, let's say, 1.3. It gets more difficult.
But
And
ma,
the concentration of medication, let's say, is
Just
2
stay.
milligram. 2 milligram. Oops. 2 milligram per ml. Okay? And the dose is 3 mite. What? 3 mite per kg per hour. Okay?
First one, doctor, I will
Convert. How you convert? To mite. So here, you can put here.
1 milligram equals to
1,000.
1,000.
Good. So you get 2,000 per ml.
Yes, doctor.
So good, because the concentration is in milligram and the dose is in. Yes. So instead of this, you will put 2,000, right? And this one you
This
get
one is
3, right? And this one 3. And then do the calculation for us.
hold on.
0.04.
So 0.04 is less than 1 ml. So what we will do, we'll do dilution.
Yes, doctor. So I will get 1 ml.
1 ml of this
Plus
plus 10,
9,
you get 10.
10.
So 2,000 per 10 ml,
Yes, doctor.
which
Then I
equal,
will divide
which equal to 200. You can write 200 here. Write 200 here. You can 200, right? 200 ml. So change this to 200. Okay. So multiply 3 times 1.3 times 24 divided by 200.
I will get 0.46.
So you get 0.46.
Yes.
For simplicity, we go for 0.0.
0.5.
0.5 will be too much.
So much.
Yeah. So it will be
0.47.
0.47. You are very close to it. Okay? So now you get 0.07. If it's still difficult for you and you want to make it easier, you can do another calculation. So take 1 ml plus 9. How much? Yeah? You get how much? So 200 become 20. So do it again. So you can do the second calculation if you find it difficult. So 4.6. This is easier.
Yes.
Okay? No, but remember, this is a big volume now. So if you wanna, you cannot run it at 0.1, right? Because if you run it 0.1, it will be 2.4. And you cannot run it at 0.2, because in 0.2 you will need 4.8. So the minimum you need to run, now you decide type of fluid, as we said, and now we have, so the minimum that you can run is 0.3. So 0.3 per hour times the weight times the 24, 7.2. Minus 4.6. Write 4.6. 4.6 here.
2.6.
So 2.6. So 2.6 or 5. So 2.6. So 2.6 plus 4.6 divided by 24 hours.
4
Get 0.3.
0.3 per minute per hour.
0.3 ml per hour.
Yes, sir.
Is it difficult?
7:23 a.m.
I don't understand the second teacher. I understand this.
Which one are you
This
using?
this
This one?
is very easy. هو
English, English.
1.3 1
0.3 because this is 4.6 total.
100.
If you try 1.1,
Outdoor is 8.
the volume will be 2.4. So less than this. You cannot run it. Because you need minimum 4.6. Minimum amount for
It is
this.
about
24 hours.
Yeah.
So minimum amount for 24 hours is 4.6 ml.
Yeah.
If you run it 0.1, how much? 0.1 times 24.
2.4.
So 2.4 less than this. You cannot run it. If you want to run 2.2, so 0.2 times 24, you get 4.8. You can run it actually. You can take 4.6 here and add 0.2 and you can run. You can run 0.2 if you want. So let's say 0.2. Okay? So 0.2 times 24. 4.8 minus 1 will be 0.2.
Now the dialect معلش حضرتك
0.2.
بس انا فهمت.
هاي الكمية المينيمم على هذا الحساب.
على حسب 24 مرة.
على 24 ساعة. أقل شيء ممكن تعطيهم 4.6.
اوكي.
So 4.6 divided by 24. So the minimum you can give 0.19. تمام؟ ما بتقدر انت تجيب 0.1. تمام؟ 0.19 will be difficult to calculate. So you want to make it 0.2. So instead of 4.6, you add 0.2 to it.
Point, yeah.
Plus 0.2, you get 4.8. 4.8 divided by 24.
4.8.
You get 0.2. So this 0.2 is easier to calculate than 0.19. So you can run 0.2. Or you can run it 0.3. So 0.3, or you can run 0.4, and you can run 0.5. So let's run it 0.5. So 0.5 times 24, you need 12 now. But you already have 4.6. So 12, write it here, 12, more 4.6, how much? You add, you get 7.4. So 7.4 plus this, you get 12. And then you run it 0.5 mil an hour. Huh? Okay? Okay? So what else? Is it clear? Okay? Any question? You want to practice again? No? Nobody wants to practice? You want to practice again? So let's go, the weight is 1.7. Okay? And let's say the
Okay, we'll bring
2 grams. 2 grams. And the dose is, let's say 10 microgram.
10 micrograms.
Okay?
So now
Okay, let's say it's per kg per minute. Per minute, not hours.
So I will have
Okay? So you add 60. Okay? And first, before, what you need to do? So gram to milligram,
Yes,
1000.
1000 milligram.
Okay?
So 2 times 1000. So I will get 2000. We have
2 gram.
milligram. So this
And then you
2000
multiply.
milligram, I will multiply again doctor to 1000 to get microgram.
So you get 2 million. 2 million. 6 zeros. So very difficult. Huh? So it will be impossible to calculate. So you need to dilute from the beginning.
Dilute 1 ml.
So we'll dilute with big amount because it's big number. So we'll take 1 ml of this,
Yes, doctor.
add it to 99 logs.
99.
Yeah, so you get 100. So big number, okay? So we'll take 1 ml of this because it's big number. You won't, no way they will tell you. So 1 ml plus 100.
Contains 2 grams.
So you remove 2 zeros from this. So you get how much? You remove 2 zeros. 20,000. Okay? You're still high. So you can dilute again. So you take 1 ml of this, add it to 100 ml.
again?
Yeah, again 1 ml. Yeah, so you get less
I will
volume.
get 1 ml again, doctor.
Yeah, so you get 1 ml. How much? You remove another 2 zeros.
Doctor, sorry again. Doctor, here.
So you take this is put
I
2 zeros.
get
Put 2 zeros.
20,000,
Yes.
right?
So you have 1 ml contain
Then I will
20,000 mic.
Then
This
I
is
will
still
get
high. So
1
take 1 ml from here, add it to 99.
Add it to 99.
You get 100.
Yes.
You get 100.
Yes, doctor.
The 100 you remove 2 zeros
Yes, doctor.
when you divide, right?
200.
Yeah. So it become 200. That's easier to calculate. So run and write 200 here. Yeah, here's 200. No. Yes. You got how I did it? Huh?
What is it, doctor? That is much. What is this?
60 minutes.
Minutes.
Because it's per minute, not per hour.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
From the step first step, it's easier.
Do you want to, do you want it to repeat?
No, sir. If we are diluting from the first.
Yeah, so it's a very concentrated in a very small line. So you need to dilute twice because it will be small. So now calculate. So you can remove this 0 with this 0. Make it easy. Okay? 3 times and 1.7 the weight. And this one's 10. So 60 I remove 0 from here, 0 from 0. So 10. And you can remove this 0 and from this 0. You make it easy. So this is 2.
12. So
Yeah.
1.7.
So 1.7 times 24 times 6 divided by 2.
122.4.
So 1 to 22, that will be very difficult to get. So we will remove the second dilution. Okay? So instead of, put 2 zeros. Run it again. No, keep saying. Because we removed the 0.
1.22.
1.7 times 2, 24 times 6 divided by 200.
1.22.
That's better. So you get 1.22. Is it clear how we did it? Okay? The rest is the same. So type of the fluid and the volume. So if the patient is restricted, we can go to 0.1 because we have a volume to go 0.1. Okay? If we can go to, if you get 0.3, you get more. So let's say we go to 0.1. So 0.1 ml per hour we want to run. So how much you get? 4.8, 2.4. Right? So 2.4. You don't need to calculate 2.4. And the 1.22. Right? And the result is 1.18. So 1.2.
1.8.
Yeah, I'll remove this. So 1.2 plus 1.2,
2.4.
2.4 and not 1.1 ml an hour. You're close. You might be like 0.99 or 0.6. You're close to the end. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next session.